All right. I'm going to go and just make sure that this thing's actually doing its thing. So let me see. Live control room. Apparently, this is where I need to go. And having a look over here. There we go at the market. Let me make sure that's muted. There it is. Everything's up and running. I know. I'm learning things. I'm learning how this happens with the internet doing the stuff. You wouldn't think that I work online, but I do, and I still have no idea how most of this shit works. Because I hate computers. Okay, I don't. I'm kidding. But hey, welcome to Tuesday, 13th of June, 2 p.m. almost. It's 1:49 in the p.m. for me. And looking here at the market, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I switch over to the correct chart because I would hate to talk about the wrong thing. I had this listed as Ethereum, MATIC, and BTC for today, right? And I wanted to dig into MATIC a little bit because it did have that anomalous presentation of sell down from about a week ago when we were like, we meaning me, I was like, something fishy, and then lo and behold, right, it took a massive dive on the 9th. So what's the recovery look like? And is there a recovery? And, what's the market look like in general? Are we going to die in a fire? And are the people who are bearish opening 10x leveraged shorts going to have a great holiday? Or are people who are hoping for long on this market going to be happier? Let's find out. So here we go. And this is going to be a much shorter video than yesterday. Right. Hopefully my camera behaves. I think I fixed the issue with my camera. So it wasn't really my camera. It was actually the capture card for the camera. So never mind, whatever. So right now BTC is hovering at 25.8, ETH hovering above 17, and MATIC all the way down at 63 cents. Although MATIC did get all the way down to 55 cents. Now, before all this crap started, I mean, an 85 to 77 cent MATIC was pretty good. And then the world of the potential 75 cent MATIC was completely off the radar. And this is 2 weeks ago. And I was just I don't know. I can't really see that happening. And then it got a little bit weird. And I was just we should not touch MATIC for a bit to find out what's going on. That was mainly around people that were for longs, right? Don't touch it for longs, and also actually I wouldn't have touched it for shorts either because it was acting outside of ranges that were very random in terms of what I normally see for sentiment response. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that an elevated level of not consumer market behavior was happening on the asset, meaning selling off ahead of the news cycle probably. So someone got a phone call and someone offloaded their stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the way it is. Welcome to crypto. The BTC micro trend right now, we've had this here for about a day and a half or so. It's not too bad. What am I, 1 hour candles? I'm on 1 hour candles. I have, okay, cool. And I'm looking at the mean right now is at 25,750. Operating above that is generally bullish for the micro trend. And we were operating above that mean from yesterday's video, actually, all the way up to the upper side 1 sig and then kind of wicking to that 2 sig a couple of times. So that shows that the 2 sig is going to act as your short-term micro trend resistance level. And that level is $26,274.88. Looking now at how the mean is operating with this 25,750 being the support, right? Very light support. And it's being challenged right now. We're operating a little bit above it, which is kind of comforting for those of you who don't want to see the market collapse. And I think I clickbaited the thumbnail here to say something like $19,000 BTC, right? Where is it going? So fear mongering aside, talking about how this collapse actually could occur. And looking at the prices from a price analysis perspective, going below 25,300, red flags everywhere for the market. And yes, we're close to that. But the market's kind of being held up right now by a limited amount of volume of individuals who don't want to see BTC go lower than that, or who believe strongly that the price of BTC should be above that. And 25,300 and under is actually a higher level of probability for a an egregious sell down. And by egregious, I'm talking like we go from 25 to 22 to 20, maybe 19, and then possibly 16, and maybe even lower into a grotesque level of capitulation, right? And that would be really weird, given that the halving is about 12 months away. And normally we have a period of accumulating, right, that goes on in BTC ahead of the supply squeeze that comes with the halving, and leading up to it anyways. So we're pretty much on that brink of where we should start seeing that level of consumption of current BTC with its current supply process from the mining start to take shape around when that halving comes. And then, you know, as every halving has happened in the past, and the more reliable it is, the less likely I am to kind of believe it as just like a fact all the time. But I really don't have anything in me that says it won't occur again the same way it has always in the past, where it gets bullish through those periods. So that being said, I'm watching it on a micro trend level, right? So not to talk about like a 12-month or 9-month time frame or anything like that. I'm more, the current stream's bit rate is 2584.80, lower than the recommended bit rate. Wow, I need to actually up my output apparently. Anyways, whatever. I'll worry about that later. You know, so on a micro level, operating above the mean, 25,750 is a good thing. If we do get below the mean, 25,515 is a pretty good bet for a bottom, and a light resistance happening at the 2 sig on the 26,274 side. It's pretty reasonable, with a pretty decent level of probability of us actually trying to touch that 3 sig if we do maintain bullish market behavior. So these levels that I'm working on, this is basically how I'm going to meter the market for the next 24 hours. I mean, this micro trend is nice and established now. I got a day and a half on it. And it's given me a pretty decent lens into what I can expect in the market. The same way that all the other trends on my screen have actually showcased, where you have like the very first one back here, not this one over here. This is when the market dumped and we were operating below the 5 sig. But here after the dump, we had this mean at 25,533 that acted as a bottom, and then it touched the upper side 3 sig, get a retrace, touch that 2 sig, give us a new trend event, operate beneath it, start kind of flashing, hey, that was a top, right? Do that twice in a row. It bottoms out at the lower side 2 sig and then reestablishes a mean here, giving us bottom, right? And a confirmation of potential bottom. So the same way that we had double confirmations of top, right, back on the 9th and the 10th, I'm getting pretty much double confirmations from the 10th and the 12th here of high probability of bottom. Now, the mean is being challenged. It does not mean that the price can't go lower than the mean. I'm just saying that my outlook right now is, as long as we're above 25,750, I am maintaining a more bullish lean in terms of my outlook for the market. And that is going to be reflected as well into Ethereum. Ethereum is operating on the underside of the mean right now for a micro trend that published on a very light wick. And that's at 1767 is where the mean is at right now. Lower side 2 sig on this extremely limited delta between these 3 sigs, by the way. The distance, right, between the 3 sigs is 1831 to 1702. The lower side 2 sig right now is at 1729, which is where we're at. And normally I would kind of like rely on that 2 sig being kind of where the bulk, like the lower side and the upper side 2 sig, where bulk of the price action should be for the way ETH normally operates in non-aggressively selling down markets. So if we're just playing waves, lower side 2 sig, upper side 2 sig is a good bet. And in this case, the upper side 2 sig is the $1,800 psychological barrier. So that's a good one. And then the other bit that I have down here is MATIC. And I wanted to look at MATIC because even though it was like this really strange aggressive sell down pattern, and it did an overextended period on the 9th and 10th, where we got outside the 3 sig ranges into the lower side 5 sig, right? During that nasty sell-off last week. Jarvis has done a really decent job at mapping it out. And you could see as we stepped down through the waves and it just wasn't looking very strong, and it just really kind of started to grab lower side mean, lower side mean, lower side mean the whole way down. It's just like it was all bearish, right? And to the point where it got egregiously bearish. And now we're operating above the mean, above the mean, above the mean, right? And yes, this one stepped down just a little bit. So it makes me kind of a little bit, because that normally means a light weakening. We have a compressed delta between the three sigs from yesterday's this is 11th, day before yesterday's micro trend. But this one here is a little bit compressed, and the mean's in a bit more reasonable location, meaning that all it did was kind of find a basement for it to kind of hang out at, and operating above 62.42 cents for MATIC does show signs of bullishness for it continuing on from, of course, the 10th. Now, that should be your red flag moment, though, if we get below 62.42 cents. And we do have a limited upside right now, which is going to be funny enough. The 75-cent marker is now your sentiment resistance on the extended period. I know. It just is what it is, right? This is crypto. On a macro level, we're hovering at high support, which is 25.902. A little bit underneath it. That's to be expected. Getting above it, completely reasonable. And maybe utilizing the mean 26,639 as our macro sentiment support and resistance level. I would say that would be your glass ceiling to beat. I'm rebooting the camera as I speak. Whatever, maybe I'll just turn it off. There we go. I'll just turn the camera off. That's easier. So the bulk of it, I thought I had that fixed. You know, it's really sad. The bulk of this, though, I'm expecting to kind of just hang out in this range between this high, the high sup and the mean, the 25.902 and the 26,639, at least for the next 24 hours. And like I said, a collapse of this level breaks it down pretty aggressively. And you can see that our max support's all the way down at 23.5. So if we do get like a full-on touch of max support, which is extremely unreasonable for BTC right now. I mean, even with all the selling down that we've had, the elevated levels of sell pressure, BTC really still has been holding on to $25,000, like it owes it some back taxes. So for ETH, on the other hand, we're ranging between medium support and high support. So the high support's acting as a resistance level, and that's at 1759, with the medium support at 1729. And the deltas on our macro are actually really squeezed in, 1681 on the bottom and 1884 on the top. So it gives us a wide range of volatility on a macro level for ETH, which is actually kind of crazy. I've only seen this a couple of times on Jarvis. And normally what this ends up being is that, hey, a decision point is about to come for the market, right? So when this does show up, for BTC as well, but when it does show up on the ETH side, it's going to be substantial. So something is going to come in the market that is going to be a big move. And is that 1681? It's going to be depending on whether or not 1729 can hold. And I'm looking at 1 hour closes below that level. Hell, 1 hour close under that level would actually put 1681 clearly on the radar. But as long as we're operating above that, a return to mean at 1783 and a potentially getting all the way up to that medium support at 1836 is actually a reasonable expectation to set for yourself if we maintain a level of normalcy with how this is playing out. Granted, you know, an FBI investigation or Interpol or something like that can come hammering down and start flagging meme coins as illegal, and then the whole market just gets liquidated because everybody's rug pulling on PEEP, you know. So I mean, who knows? But you know, I'm just watching the levels to see how we play out from a consumers responding to sentiment data over the next 24 hours and what those expectations are, given the landscape that we're currently in right now. If you see any big negative news and some of these levels start to fall, just put your seatbelt on and start opening shorts. Until tomorrow, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. I'm out of here, and I appreciate, oh my gosh, a concurrent viewer. Look at me go. Average view duration, 27 seconds. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to keep this up on the channel, obviously, so you can, for those of you who didn't catch this live, which is pretty much everybody, I'm only basically doing these live, so it's easier for me. But those of you who didn't catch this live can go back and watch it, and then you'll know what to expect until I do this video again tomorrow afternoon. Good night and good luck.